we're going to go back to talk about this story out of Texas when it comes to the issue with tenure. And we're seeing all of these different stories. We're seeing these things happen all across the country. And what it's speaking to, as I said earlier, is what happens when you have, frankly, flat out crazy folks who are in power in this country. And so in a moment, we're going to talk with a woman. She's actually running for lieutenant governor in the state against, hopefully to run against Dan Patrick. She's also a professor of sociology at the Texas Southern University, Carla Brailey. And so, all right, Carla, you there?
Yes.
All right, so Carla, so we were talking earlier about this thing that Dan Patrick is doing, and frankly, it just makes no sense whatsoever. But it shows you how Republicans in Texas want to stifle freedom voices. They want to stifle people who disagree with them. This is about absolute control, and because they oversee Texas state universities, they want to impose their will on these universities.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're seeing is not only an attack on a system, tenure system that has been meant to ensure that professors have academic freedom across the board, but I think what we see that if this actually goes forth in a state of Texas, we also know what kind of impact this can have on historically Black colleges and universities. And so when I entered even this race, I had no idea that my very job would be on the line as a professor who actually really focuses on social inequality and studies relating to social justice, which is a direct challenge that this current leadership is attempting to do.
And for them to literally threaten to end tenure is unbelievable. I mean, isn't the whole point of tenure academic freedom?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anyone would have saw this coming. I know that what we're seeing in Texas is really this anti-democratic movement, and we're seeing that it's less than 20% of Texans who've really embraced this. So what we're seeing that even I think if we were to have some conversations with some Republicans, they would be against this, and that's what we're seeing. And if they can do this in Texas, God knows where else they can do it.
Absolutely. And so it is ongoing. But first of all, Dan Patrick has been absolutely unbelievably awful for Texas. This is the same person who said that older Texans should frankly die so kids won't have to take vaccine mandates. And I'm sitting there going, why don't you volunteer yourself then, if that's the case? And again, that's the kind of thing that we're seeing happen there in Texas. How are professors responding to this threat?
Oh, I actually think that Dan may have targeted the wrong population. I mean, you shouldn't target any population, but I think this very system crosses race, class, gender. It crosses, even occupation, because at the end of the day, these professors, and I'm a professor as well, is actually educating students who go out and become our next leaders of various industries. So this is not something that professors and educators are taking lightly. And I think in the weeks to come, you're going to see much more pushback than we're already seeing.
All right, then, Carla, we certainly appreciate it. The primary, folks are going to the polls right now. You've had lots of cold weather there in Texas impacting the polls there. So, folks, be sure to vote on Tuesday in that Texas primary there. So, Carla, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your work.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?